Aaron from PhoneDog.com. And if you're a BlackBerry Pearl user, you're probably frustrated because you're still on edge even in 2010. Well, not the case anymore. The BlackBerry Pearl 3G is available on AT&T right now. It's $149.99, a little bit high, $549.99 if I remember, out of the box. A little bit expensive, full retail, but it's available now if you're eligible for an upgrade or if you're a new customer, and it's 3G equipped. So some design differences, still running OS 5.0, but some design differences, some changes on that front. Isn't enough to sway buyers, first-time smartphone users, or even Pearl users. We'll find out in the review, which starts right now. All right, here's the BlackBerry Pearl 3G with AT&T, and like I said, this is the gradient red version, but I wanted to show you this before we get into the real meat of the review. Pretty cool, in addition to the micro SD card slot, pretty cool little way to remove and add the SIM card. You take this yellow tab and you push down, and the SIM card comes out that way. So, when you put it in, it's a nice little, nice new little trick on the Pearl 3G, and something that's a little bit different. Just wanted to show you that. So, in terms of design, as you saw from the unboxing, very similar. Kind of has some accents like the Storm 2, with the chrome accents and the rubberized buttons on the side. Convenient keys on both sides, which is a nice thing for RIM, because on the recent devices like the Torch and the Style, they're going to one convenient key, which is a little bit frustrating, and I like to have messages on one side and BlackBerry Messenger on the other, so minor frustration there, but convenient key on that side. Volume rocker and camera, 3.2 megapixel camera on the back. This one comes with a little bit of a revised keyboard, and then of course the trackpad. I was having issues, if you read my first impressions. The trackpad was going nuts. It stopped recently, but I think there's an issue with the light sensor on my unit, to where it's, for whatever reason, when I'm in certain situations, it just scrolls up on its own. And at one point when I was testing it, it was so bad I had to stop using it because I couldn't type. It was auto-correcting, incorrectly correcting, if that makes sense, my words. So a little bit of a frustration there. But in terms of design, a little bit different. And you can hear all my phones going off in the background. Must have got an email. But media keys on the top, mute button, and then of course your media keys on the top. Now this, it's important to note this device is very much for consumers, maybe prosumers, but mostly consumers. Thanks to the SureType keypad, this is not something that most business users are going to adopt due to the keypad. I love SureType personally. I've gotten used to it over the course of owning several BlackBerries, but for those people that want the full QWERTY keyboard, this just doesn't cut it. Back to the design though, it feels good in the hand. It's thinner, it's lighter, or at least it feels thinner and lighter. I think it's like 0.1 ounces, 0.01 ounces heavier, but it feels good in the hand, a little bit different in terms of design. But it's running BlackBerry 5. It's capable of running BlackBerry 6. We saw that at DEF CON 2010. If you saw my gallery. It is capable, but they're waiting on network support or network approval. So it's up to AT&T when they get that. You'll see 3G, of course, up the top, so it's no longer on edge, but it runs some of the enhancements that come with OS 5, BlackBerry 5, excuse me. No, OS 5.0, that's right. I confused the marketing names. 3G, and you'll see, typical connections menu. But outside of that, not a lot of change from devices like the 9700 and the 9650 that are running OS 5.0 out of the box. You have your messages, SMS and MMS, separation there out of the box. Your media, of course, they've included Facebook, Twitter, and MySpace. So for the 7 people that still use MySpace, you have your application there as well. And then BlackBerry App World is here. And then, of course, AT&T's App Center as well. So interesting, certainly interesting there. Downloads, I've downloaded a couple of apps, I think. Yeah, I downloaded AP, so it just calls it News. Downloaded that, and then of course some AT&T installed apps like YP Mobile, AT&T Maps, and Navigation on that front. Now, interesting to note that both the Torch and the Pearl 3G out of the box do not come with BlackBerry Maps. You'll notice that that's missing in the icons, and it first kind of threw me. And I looked everywhere, looked in applications for that, but then read somewhere that they're not including that on the devices anymore, which is a little frustrating. They want you to go to that AT&T Navigator, $9.99 per month price. So nice way to throw a feature on you there. A little bit of a frustration. Anyway, Mobi TV comes installed. MyCast Weather, Get Mobile Banking. So there's a couple of options there. And then, of course, visual voicemail, which I believe, actually the trackpad's acting up right now if you can see that. I believe visual voicemail is still free on AT&T with the BlackBerry devices. So it just requires a feature through your My account. So you may need to add that And then, of course, I forgot to mention mobile video with AT&T as well. So you can see, BlackBerry Messenger installed. Let's have a look at the AT&T App Center just to get an idea. I actually haven't worked with the AT&T App Center on these BlackBerry devices. If you agree. Yeah, of course we agree. Let's download that. So as you can see, definitely an older version, obviously an older version of the operating system. If you're coming from a Torch, or you're coming from the Style 9670, or any experience with BlackBerry 6, and you come back to this, it's very frustrating. Now, if you're coming, first-time smartphone buyer, you're just excited that you have a smartphone, it may not bother you as much. So, it's all in where you're coming from and the goal that you have for the device. Still has award-winning email support, but a little frustrating on that front. And just to compare, the differences while that's successfully installed. I'm going to jump around here, but just to compare the differences, you can see much more media-centric and just up-to-date on BlackBerry 6 versus OS 5.0. So let's jump back to the App Center. Yes, we want to grant it trusted status. And let's see what's installed in here. And you can see applications, games, so it's AT&T's App Center, so you can use that when you have the device. You can use that, or you can use BlackBerry App World. So you have a couple of options on that front. Camera is 3.2 megapixels. It's not the greatest camera in the world, and the fact that the screen's small doesn't help matters. Take a picture of my keyboard over here, and I'll show you. Not the greatest. No, it has zoom, but no autofocus. Oh, I'm sorry, it does have autofocus. I don't know what I'm talking about. It does have autofocus. And you can see it, it's reasonably decent. The camera's not really doing it justice. I know I say that all the time, but, reasonably decent pictures. Still 3.2 megapixels. You're not really going to notice it on the phone screen. I mean, on the phone screen, 3.2 megapixels and 5 look exactly the same. When you blow it up and you email it to yourself, and you see the full size, it's definitely a difference. Comes with a flash, so that's a benefit when you're in low-lit situations. But the screen size, a little bit frustrating at times to take pictures. Now, video, same thing. Pretty mediocre video camera. It's not bad by any means, but it's definitely not going to replace your HD video camera by any means. If I shot PhoneDog videos on this camera, I don't think you'd be very happy. So, not going to replace your standard camera. In terms of games, comes with quite a few games. Comes with Tetris, Scrabble, Bejeweled, Pac-Man, Brick Breaker, Word Mole, my favorite, Texas Hold'em King, Sudoku, Klondike, and Trooper Typing. So, Trooper Typing gives you some experience with the SureType keyboard. If you're new to the SureType solution, or keyboard, if you will, Trooper Typing will help you there on that front. Battery life, pretty decent. It's it's a GSM device, so even though it's a smaller battery, I believe it's 1,170 milliamps, like the Style, if I remember right. But, smaller, a little bit smaller battery, but battery life's decent, mostly because it's a GSM device. And I found that, with moderate use, I was able to make it about 2 days, and with light use, I was able to make it about 3 to 3.5 before the device powered down. So definitely not bad. In terms of battery life, BlackBerry takes the cake still in this world where Android devices, last for a couple of hours and that's it. Definitely takes the cake, and they maintain their lead with the fantastic battery life there. Network connectivity-wise, had no problems. I took it to an AT&T dead spot in the Charlotte area and have been very pleased, despite the fact that the call quality, it was choppy, but I was able to hold the call here. Let's see.
Thank you for calling AT&T about your wireless.
So that's at full volume, decent if you're in a quiet room like I'm in right now, but if you're in a coffee shop or gas station or anywhere with a lot of traffic, it's going to be a little bit frustrating for you on that front. So, it's a decent device, but for most people, it's a good device for first-time smartphone owners. But BlackBerry users, even that are coming from, maybe if you're coming from the Pearl, the Edge Pearl, you might be interested in this. But otherwise, until it gets BlackBerry 6, it's really coming out of the gate kind of obsolete, if you will. With BlackBerry OS 5.0, a little frustrating on that front. But it is slated to get BlackBerry 6 at some point in the future. Let me rephrase that. It's capable of running BlackBerry 6, whether AT&T decides to go with it or not. That's their choice, according to what RIM told me. So it comes in gradient red now. I'm expecting it to come in black and a couple other colors, white, and I think red at some point in the future. Whether AT&T will pick those up, obviously that's their call as well. So much more coverage to come on the BlackBerry Pearl 3G on PhoneDog.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Hey, we're cool people, you know. We like to have fun. We hang out on the Facebook page all the time. Be sure to like us, and we'd certainly appreciate it. And follow me on Twitter, PhoneDog_Aaron. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend.